Entitled Mom Tries to Kick Me Out of My Own Backyard.
Hello Reddit. I have been a huge fan of this sub ever since the pandemic has given me a reason to stay inside on Reddit all day. I read a story and it reminded me of something that happened to me when I was 13. Hope you enjoy.
Asked. Friend, my neighbor I was hanging out with that day. I am the big bad Karen.
ED, entitled daughter. Eat me up.
Background, I live in a neighborhood in a nice part of good old Minnesota,
where basically everyone on my block is a friend and we would all have barbecues together, block parties, etc.
Everyone except Karen, EM.
I don't know where the term Minnesota nice came from because the only word I can describe her is an asshole. She would come to our block parties where we always had an obstacle course bouncy house and demand all of the kids to get out of the bouncy house because her baby needed to concentrate. And I knew these bouncy houses were all of 15 feet long
and contained obstacles that my neighbor's 3-year-old infant could go through. ED was 9 at the time.
Most of our houses didn't have fences, including mine, so we had some security cameras installed, important for later. At the time I was 13 and we had a trampoline in the backyard that all of our neighbors would come play on when we were together.
This brings me to the story. My parents went with my brothers to their school for conferences, so I walked down to my friend's house, about 5 minutes away, to see if he wanted to hang out.
He said yes, and we were at his house for a little bit playing on his Wii.
We got bored eventually and decided to go back to my house to bounce on the trampoline and eat some ramen.
Yes, it's random, but we really liked ramen and my parents had just bought some.
We walked back to my place and turned the corner when I noticed a car in my driveway. My friend asked if my parents were back already, and I said that it couldn't be them because both of my parents drive white cars and the car in the driveway was black. The only other people that drove black cars near us were my friend's parents, and you guessed it, EM.
We ran into my backyard only to find EM watching her hellspawn ED jumping on the trampoline.
I said, "Excuse me, Karen." EM, "Papa, don't you dare talk to me like that. You must address me as Mrs. Last Name." "Okay, sorry, Mrs. Last Name, but why are you in my backyard?" EM, "Because my baby wanted to jump on the trampoline." "Well, this is my house and not your proper."
EM snapped, "I'm older than you and you have to respect your elders and my baby can jump on whatever trampoline she wants."
Then ED spoke up in the winniest, bitchiest voice ever, "Mom."
EM, "What is it, baby?"
ED, "Can we bring the trampoline home so we don't have to come here every time?" EM, "Of course, sweetie, I'll get the car ready now."
I was too dumbfounded to speak, but my friend wasn't. In a very matter-of-fact kind of way, he said,
"Karen, you can't take this trampoline because it is not yours, and if you don't get off of Op's property, we will call the police." EM snarled, "Don't talk to me like that, plus. You can't call the police, you're too young." I had gotten myself together at this point and whipped out my phone and dialed 911. I showed Karen my hand over the call button and told Karen, "If you don't leave in 3 seconds, I'm calling the police."
He grabbed ED from the trampoline and mad dash for the car before I even started counting. Phew.
Now, you might think that that's the end, but oh no. Not 20 minutes later, me and my friend are inside eating ramen when we get a knock on my door.
I thought it was my parents, and so I opened the door, and lo and behold, on my doorstep was a police officer, Karen with the trademark Karen look of smugness that said,
"I just got you busted, bitch you," and ED displaying the most pathetic fake cry ever. Little did they know that I actually knew the police officer because he is one of my dad's closest friends.
And knows that I am not the kind of person that would do anything bad. We had actually just had him over for dinner. He gives me a wink and says in a very melodramatic voice, "Oppo, did you steal this young girl's trampoline?"
Yes, you read that right. Karen tried to make this police officer think that I had stolen their freaking trampoline.
The trampoline itself was absolutely massive. I don't remember the exact dimensions, but it was big, and there were only 2 of us. And she said that she was in her house and didn't see us take it.
I replied in a mock-scared voice, "No, I swear I didn't take anything."
The officer turned to my friend, "Are you sure about that?" He got the idea and pretended to break under pressure by putting on a fake cry. It was 1,000,000 times better than the ED's, and said, "Yes, we did it. Please don't send us to jail."
The Karen said in her snarkest voice ever, "Told you, officer." I still don't understand why she thought my friend would have faked confessing, but whatever.
The officer said, smiling, "Well, I know your father just installed some security cameras. Can we get the video for court evidence?" The M's face went white as a ghost and she stopped smirking. She tried to grab her entitled daughter and run, but the officer said in a stern voice,
"Don't you want to watch it so you can have some incriminating evidence in court?"
She literally gulped as I opened the security camera app on my phone and showed him the whole thing.
Karen kicked the officer in the shin and ran away, leaving her daughter behind.
He was convicted of assault of an officer and child abandonment because she got in her car and drove home, but was only formally charged with assault.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I sure did.
The time I had tried to give my console to my little cousin. A bit of backstory. I'm 13, and I love to play video games. I have a PlayStation, and I love to play with my friends. One day, my relatives came over, and my mom understood that I don't really know how to socialize with kids, so she let me play on the PlayStation after dinner. Once I ate dinner, I closed my room door and started to play. First, I played a bit of Fortnite with my friends. There was an update, and we wanted to check it out. I later started to play Minecraft with my friends. After we were done, me and friends hopped onto Call of Duty, and my little cousin came in and we had a conversation. "Cousin, can I play?" Me, "No." "Cousin, why?" "Because this is my console, and I don't want you to break anything." I'm very protective of my console because it was my first console I ever got, and it holds a special place in my heart. Also, I didn't want to buy a new one, because I don't have that kind of money. My cousin seemed to understand why I wouldn't let him play and was mature enough to see that the game I was playing wasn't for kids his age. Everything was peaceful until 20 minutes later. He told his mom, who is the end of the story, "Why didn't you let my son play on your console?" Me, "Because it is my console, and I'm playing with my friends, and we are playing a game that isn't kids. We were still playing COD. I don't care, you are going to let him play, or I will take it from you." I kept trying to explain that this is my console. I get to decide what to do my console, and this game isn't for kids his age. Then she proceeded to smash my second controller, which I used if my first controller ran out of battery. I was super mad and yelled, "Me, why would you do that?" Because you wouldn't let my son play." She then proceeded to start to unplug my PS4, and I was trying to stop her. Luckily, my mom, who understands how protective I am of my PS4, and she started to take my PS4 out of my aunt's hands. I started to yell about how I didn't let my cousin play. My mom told her what I said and then kicked her out with my cousin. Honestly, I feel bad for my cousin. He had to witness his mom go full sicko mode. He didn't even seem upset that he couldn't play. You may think I'm a bit entitled for not letting my cousin play, but he has had a tendency to break things. And PS4s aren't really cheap. I know they don't cost as much as PCs, but they still cost $400. Anyway, that was my story. I got reminded of it when I read a story on this subreddit. See if I have any more Karen stories, or get reminded of another one.
Entitled Mom Tries to Take My Gaming Earnings. Backstory: I play Fortnite occasionally, only for the cash cups because why not? I'm actually decent and get decent amounts of cash. I started doing this 2 seasons ago and I have 6K earnings. So I was recently doing a duo cup, but all my partners were off, so I had to invite a random person. Fortunately, they were able to play. At the end of the tournament, we placed in the top 10. So we split the money and went our own ways. He did carry me in some games that were crucial, but most of the times he was sort of a backseat player. The next day I was grinding, warming up, and talking with my friends. Got on his mech and said that I should give them all the money because EK was a crucial player. Anyways, I sent her replays. I told Ian that EK carried 2 out of 10 games, and the rest of the games he wasn't very vital. I do acknowledge that he was helpful, so we split. He starts screaming at me for being ungrateful and disrespecting my elders, and EK just cut her off. He actually became a normal kid, not EK. I don't even think he told Ian that he deserved all the money. That's what he said. He apologized and we are still good friends, and now he's one of my trio partners. May I add that we won another 2K with him over time. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. 1K upvotes, best I got was around 700. Thank you all so much. PS 4th on top and first on hot. First on hot and third on top. Thank you all for the awards. Thank you for the gold.
What other subreddit would you like to hear stories from? Let me know in the comments.